Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
And it's Friday.
I've created a monster, cause nobody wants to see more, so no more they want shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shock when I get shocked at the hospital by the doctor when I'm not cooperating, when I'm rocking the table while he's operating. Hey! You waited this long to stop debating, cause I'm back, I'm on the rag and ovulating. I know that you got a job, Miss Cheney, but your husband's heart problem's complicating. So the FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me.
Let's go. That was for Belinda, by the way, checking in your town, Kenzie, of Elgin this morning. She wanted the Friday song. So Belinda and Elgin for Kenzie, who's here now, but Belinda's back in Elgin.
We should have carpooled together.
No kidding. I don't know where, stop by, pick a girl up. And and kind of saying,
crazy.
And she goes, I'll give you a ride. Where are you going? NBC Tower, 47 miles away.
At about 3 a.m. What you doing, girl?
Thanks for everybody listening in Elgin this morning and everywhere around Elgin. It's Friday. We got it set up for you today, of course, at 8 o'clock. Next opportunity at Boston Calling Music Festival, a VIP trip. I would say it's the last day because each day it will change to, each week, I should say, changes to a different festival trip. But qualifying with tickets to Riot Fest one-day passes will continue. So Boston Calling, amazing lineup with our guys, Fall Out Boy, Sublime, among others. 8 o'clock, your chance at that. And right after that, we will, of course, do Keisha's movie review with La Bamba.
That's right.
Honoring Cinco de Mayo. That's coming up today.
I, of course, am kicking off your Cinco de Mayo festivities. I know everybody's been waiting for it.
Yep.
I am here to deliver.
Can't wait.
Awesome.
Cannot wait.
By the way, real quick on Fest. So this week, Boston Calling. Next week.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, you should read your emails. It's Minnesota Yacht Club, which is Hozier, Alabama Shakes, Fall Out Boy, Weezer, Green Day, 311.
What?
Garbage, Semisonic, Beach Bunny, Father John Misty, among others.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weird name for a festival, this Minnesota Yacht Club, but I'm fine.
It's not when you realize that it is in Minnesota surrounded by yachts.
Well, I mean, we're in Chicago, and we have hot dogs, but we call it Riot Fest.
We're in Chicago, but we have hot dogs.
But there's no riot going on right now, as far as I know. We call it Riot
The
Fest.
festival. I think it fits the theme.
Yeah.
Minnesota
I don't
Yacht
go
Club.
there like this should be called the Yacht Festival. Stupid.
Or Hot Dog Festival, according to Brian.
Now, I'd love a hot dog festival. We call it the hot dog. Anyway.
That's a completely separate thing. Yes, great idea. Put a pin in it.
Just a weird name to go Minnesota Yacht Club, but it's an amazing festival, and that's coming up Monday. But today, last chance at Boston Calling, and Riot Fest tickets will continue. So 8 o'clock, be here for all that. So I went and hosted the Brian and Kenzie Thunderbolts premiere last night at Logan Theater. Just want to say, first off, amazing movie. Really good. Get to the theaters and see Thunderbolts this weekend. And this is coming from someone that is not a Marvel nerd. The last movie I saw in the theaters of the movies, which is hard to keep up on, is Avengers Endgame. I've seen a bunch of them. I understand the characters. I'm just not. I'm not going to get into it where I'm going to break down everything about it and what happens. I'm just saying it's incredible. What I will say, and Kenzie, I don't know the last time you've been to the movie theater.
I love the movie theater. I actually go quite often.
Like when you say often, in the last month, have you gone and seen a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
She saw Minecraft.
Oh, that's right.
And I saw the animated Easter movie. I forget what it was called. It was very good.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what's the animated Easter movie?
It's not about a bunny. It's about Jesus. So just the real purpose of it.
Well, we have
you
no-
got excited like it was going to be about chocolate bunny.
Well, we have no idea what you're talking about,
Yeah, wait, what's
so
the
our
animated
mind
Easter
goes
movie?
somewhere.
It's about the actual story of Easter,
What happens? What's the story?
like Jesus being crucified.
You know the story,
It
Case?
was like super uncomfortable.
And they made that into a cartoon?
Yeah, because, well, I mean, it's good for kids to understand the purpose of the holiday in a less, like, aggressive way than some of the adult movies.
But this was a theatrical release. This was in the movie theaters.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
All right.
Like, truly, it was a really good movie if you're, like, into that religion. So, I don't want somebody accusing me of pushing my religion on them. I'm not.
No, we're just asking questions. I didn't know they didn't hear about this
that's
movie.
like your thing.
Yeah.
The way you said it makes you sound like you're not into that religion.
I am, but it's like, I just feel like people are going to be like, oh, okay. It's like, that's what we did.
All I asked was, did you go to the theaters? And now we know. My point being that I haven't been to a movie in a little bit in the theater, and I think it's really easy to crap on going to the movie theaters because we have all of it at home on demand in our sweet setup with our sound bars and surround speakers and 80-inch, 90-inch TVs, and I can pause it, and I can go to the bathroom, I can get whatever food I want. But let me tell you, going to the theater is pretty freaking awesome.
I know. I've been saying this.
I know, and I haven't listened, and I apologize because
I know.
getting in there and not being able to touch your phone and just completely unplugging like I did last night for Thunderbolts, I kind of became a kid again. And I really fell into the story and the movie and what was going on and, laughter and drama and intrigue and fight scenes and big sounds and big screens and popcorn with tons of butter and salt.
It's a very immersive experience, and people have forgotten that.
I think a lot have. I want to apologize if I've said things about I'm just gonna stay home. Why not? Why go to a movie?
Stream it. No, there are certain movies that are so fantastic. I mean, every movie is honestly better in a theater.
Agree.
That experience is awesome. It's fun to go do as a family. I'm telling you, your kids are like, wow, because it's like a hole in their face. They get all excited. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I even saw. Remember, just a few months ago, I went and saw Purple Rain in the theaters because
Yes.
they brought it back, I think, for the anniversary. I forgot why they did it. But, and that was amazing. That was like, I felt like I was at Riot Fest or something because there's so much music in that movie. It's a whole set list.
I'm telling you, try something. Force yourself to get out of the comfort zone, the bubble of home, and go to a movie. And I get it. It's more expensive. Everything's more expensive these days. But it's still, last night was reasonable going to the movie and the popcorn and the drink. They had a special deal on that.
It's worth one of your splurge date nights or family nights if you're planning something out and you intend on, spending some money. Because some people still spend money when they're renting the in-theater movies at home.
Sure.
It's not like it's free.
And nothing's free.
I do have a question for you. Do you know what the jump scene was? I have not seen the movie. It's called Thunderbolts. Do you know what the jump scene was? Because last night I was doing show prep and I saw an article that said Florence Pugh kept thinking she was going to die while filming the jump scene in Thunderbolts, and she actually thought she was going to die.
Yes. And I know the scene she's talking about, the jump scene again. Yeah. Everything's incredible as far as the visual aspects of Thunderbolts. So Florence Pugh is incredible. I love Bucky and Sebastian Stan, and he's probably one of the ones. A lot of people, because this is a new regime of characters, are the underplayed ones. That Bucky is the most, I guess, popular without question of somebody that might have only be a moderate fan like myself. Bucky and the Winter Soldier and all that. But it was outstanding, and I just want to make sure I got across. And you've said this, Kenzie, and also I believe AMC has this $25 a month deal where you can go see 4 movies a week.
The AMC pass. We have coworkers who just explained this to Brian. It blew his mind.
I was going nuts. 4 movies a week for $25 a month. You can do that.
Most theaters, if you look into it, do some type of deal day on obviously you can do matinees are always cheaper too.
Yeah.
But most of them do like a movie Tuesdays or a movie Wednesdays, and near us there's a $5 movie day.
Oh God.
Because it's not popular to go on a Tuesday. So a lot of theaters have deals like that. The movie passes, obviously matinee specials, but then day specials too.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep your eye out for if you want to go to more movies and you think they're too expensive.
Case accuses me of going all in too fast, too big, like this band I saw Wednesday night. I'm going to manage them and get them to Soldier Field in 3 weeks.
Correct.
I'm going to the movies every day from now on. I'm not kidding. I'm going.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and time for a fact that makes your brain go. This involves a little bit of a list, so maybe multiple facts of things that improve people's quality of life so much that they wish they did it way sooner. So they waited and waited on something. Maybe they thought about it, procrastinated. Hey, I know about that. And you had this idea that this would improve my life, but you just don't do it. But then they did this, and some of these things are mind-blowing. In fact, number one, I guarantee none of you could guess. You know, Kenzie, the listener's case, I don't think anybody can guess it. But things that improve the quality of life exponentially. God, why didn't I do this like 10 years ago? Kenzie, do you have any ideas on what they might have been that the people in Chicago said?
I say weight loss.
Weight loss?
Like you finally are like, I feel so good about myself. What the hell? Why didn't I do this?
Yeah, it's kind of hard, I think, for most people to lose weight.
No, it's so easy.
Well, listen, if
I've been hungry for months, Brian. Don't tell me that.
Well, all I'm saying is if I got disciplined, I could lose 10 pounds this week. I can do it.
Which
easily.
makes me want to reach into your heart and grab it out of your chest.
Right there's a pound gone. The heart, about a pound. Heart's about a pound. Yeah. But I'm just, like yesterday, Fat Chris's Pizza came and dropped off stuff.
Boy, did they.
I not only ate the pizza and the pepperoni rolls, I've heard they're called Chubbies. Here, I went home, taking it to my lovely wife, offering her lunch, and she goes, I just worked out, I don't want it. And I said, okay, well then I'm going to eat it after she just said she worked out, like Kenzie's saying, trying to work out and lose weight. I was just like, okay, I'll eat it. Boy, did I weigh in heavy last night. But I don't care. It was good.
You decided to weigh in after that?
I did a little weigh-in after 4 slices of Detroit-style pizza and about, I'd say, 6 of those Chubbies.
That's brave.
Woo!
I wouldn't have touched the scale for a week.
Yeah. It's just discipline, though. I mean, I could do it. I think a lot of people could if you just focus, but...
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what the fact is. Like, losing weight isn't hard, right? It's not, you're not, like, building a house, okay? It's just, discipline is hard for people, but once you apply it, I feel like you do get used to it. You just have to get in a groove with it, and then you feel good.
Are you used to the calorie deficit?
Honestly, I'm starting to get super used to it.
Oh.
I'm hungry, but, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Remember when Sam from Chevelle was in here a little bit ago, and he said he had some health issues coming back about 6-7 years ago, and he got fit, and he looked incredible. And we said, what's the key? He goes, go to bed hungry. I go, oh my God, that sounds terrible. Going to bed hungry sounds awful. Awful. Case,
I follow a fitness influencer called Tony Fine. She's effing hilarious. And people send her comments like, what should I do with this? And she just always says something like bitchy for fun. And so when people are like, what if I'm hungry in the middle of the night? She goes, chew on your pillow.
Oh, yeah.
Nom, nom, nom.
Well, why not? And if you swallow a little bit, it'll help fill up your stomach that's starving. My stomach is starving. All right, Case, what do you think it is? Things that improve the quality of people's life in Chicago exponentially. They put it out for so long, and they're like, I should have done it sooner.
Is it smoking?
Start smoking?
Yeah, people seem happy when they smoke.
Smoking looks so cool.
Oh, man, it's incredible.
It's too bad it's terrible for you.
I know. They should fix that.
Why haven't we dedicated more technology and money instead of for cancer research to making cigarettes healthy? I don't know.
Well, that was that's how the whistleblower got, the guy from the 90s that blew the whistle on Big Tobacco.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that was his whole thing, was that there was a tobacco company that wanted to create a healthier cigarette, but then that would imply that cigarettes weren't healthy. 60-minute story later, movie, whole thing. Now we've learned that smoking is bad for us.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I know. It's a shame.
It seems like one of those things people would have been able to realize immediately.
To figure out that it's unhealthy?
Yeah, you're putting smoke into your lungs. It seemed shockingly obvious,
Well, dare us play the commercials for cigarettes back in the day. I mean, that basically tell you that cigarettes are doctors, 4 to 5 doctors.
They're doctors' favorite cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good ones out there.
I feel like every few months this show gets on hey, I wish smoking was better for you.
Yeah. Here's one of those commercials that's so good.
If you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, you'd find yourself having a mighty busy time keeping up with him. Time out for many men of medicine usually means just long enough to enjoy a cigarette. And because they know what a pleasure it is to smoke a mild, good-tasting cigarette,
oh, yeah,
they're particular about the brand they choose.
Of course.
In a repeated national survey, doctors in all branches of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country were asked, what cigarette do you smoke, doctor? Once again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Think about that.
Why not change to Camels for the next 30 days and see what a difference it makes in your smoking enjoyment. See how Camels agree with your throat. See how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be.
There's a beautiful woman at the end of that smoking a cigarette. And before that, it was a doctor in his office with a nurse bringing him cigarettes. And then he smokes them.
The sexy life they provide.
He's got his lab coat on, and he's sitting there smoking. So it's funny now, but of course, millions of people died from this propaganda, these commercials saying it was super healthy.
Not good.
Terrible. All right, let's get with the fact. Know what to get out of that. Millions of people dead from propaganda cigarette ads. The fact that makes your brain go. Something that Chicagoans found out they improved their life incredibly by doing this, and they wish they'd done it sooner. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And time for a fact, actually multiple facts that make your brain just go. And Chicagoans found that this improved the quality of their life just exponentially, and they waited too long. They look back on it and go, why didn't I do this sooner? Kenzie said losing weight. All of us could do that. I've been on a gaining path lately, and I got to say I'm pretty happy with it, but things are starting to get tight. My belt went back to the 2 spot as opposed to the 3 spot. That's a big indicator of woe.
This is weird. You're not telling the truth because you're not happy with it because you told me that Harper's been in swim lessons and Megan took pictures and you were like, don't post those.
Correct.
Okay.
But she didn't post them, so I didn't get shamed, so wasn't enough.
So now you don't care. Problem solved.
That's right.
The real problem was the pictures.
That's right. Black T-shirt on, covers up everything perfectly. It's fine. And Case said smoking. That people wish they started smoking earlier because of how awesome it is.
Well, as Paul said on the text line, cigarettes, a complicated legacy.
Very complicated, indeed. Neither of those are correct, but I'm sure they would definitely improve your lives. Well, Kenzie's not Cases. Don't start smoking today. But some of the things on the list, that we'll do kind of a top 4, top 5. Starting a band.
Oh.
Starting a band. So many people, especially during the pandemic, learned how to play an instrument. And then you're sitting at home playing, and it's kind of cool to play along the YouTube videos. But when you get with somebody, kind of like going to the movie theater, you see, it's a lot of fun. Having played in many bands in my life, I miss it. I really do, just getting in a room and hashing it up and jamming with people. And sometimes one of my bands, the bass player got up and punched the singer in the face over an argument. That was fun for me to watch. But that's why you know how bands don't always make it. But starting a band could be really cool, no matter how good a level you are at whatever instrument you play. Go for it. Also, this was one on here. Learning to say it's okay to say, I don't know.
That's a huge one.
Instead of pretending you know when someone's talking about something and then you just want to start oversharing or arguing for no reason. Sound like somebody you know? And
everybody on Facebook.
I thought you were going to say me.
Well, Brian's on Facebook.
I am on there. It's Brian J. Hadid on all my socials.
It was a roundabout way to say you.
Yeah. I mean, there's another billion people on there, but it is an interesting thing that I think back in the day, more people just said, I don't know. And instead now, because of copy and paste and Wikipedia, people just want to get in an argument all the time and say, well, you're wrong, or I know this, and they're just kind of spewing a bunch of crap, you know?
Oh, I know.
I don't say I don't know. I don't think very often.
You won't do that. Even I think men historically do this with directions too. They're just, I'm like, I don't know where I am. We should ask somebody. And guys like, the sun sets over here. I'm like, what the hell? Where's the restaurant? That doesn't help us.
I know the rigatoni is where the sun sets.
Yeah.
I'm going to go that direction.
Look at the lake. I'm like, not helpful. I don't think it's on the lake.
This one's interesting on the list here. Blackout curtains. Buying blackout curtains is life-changing. People did that for the first time and went, oh, my God. Now, if you're in high-rise living like Case or if in the city living in general, I think it's a little more than maybe suburb living because of all the lights that come through windows of your home in the city, it seems. I don't know, do lights coming through your home, Kenzie, in the burbs?
The sun.
Besides the sun, there's the neighbors, they have a floodlight on that turns on, a motion detector thing.
Yeah, it's pretty dark at night.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I used to use blackout curtains when I did overnights, and it was life-changing. So,
yeah, well, that would be if you sleep during the day.
Finally, on this one, number 1 on here, I was stunned that Chicagoans say this was life-changing, wish they did it sooner. Buy an automatic nasal rinse kit.
Okay.
So you ever see those commercials late night for Navage?
Of course.
And I have that commercial here. I'm not sure how this commercial goes, but
Is this the thing where they shove it in their nose to clean it?
Yes, and it's almost like a shower for your nose. It looks so disgusting.
I couldn't, yeah. No, I can't do that.
Here's the woman describing the Navage on your nose.
I'm going to show you the Navage nose cleaner today. So what I've done is I filled the upper tank with water up to the fill line. I have warm water in here.
It looks like something you'd torture terrorists to get information out of them.
And I'm going to take one of the salt pods and put that into the crushing chamber.
Oh, wait, there's salt? Maybe I like this.
Close the lid.
Mozzarella
And now I've
stick.
just created my saline solution. Next, I put the nose pillows in my nose, and I'm going to place them so that there's no gap, but that it's still comfortable.
Nose pillows sounds comforting, doesn't it?
And salt. Those are two things you like.
Maybe I'm going to try this.
All of a sudden.
Now, I'm going
So
to
she puts the thing to the nostrils, this device that has water in it. It looks terrible. It looks torturous.
press the start button, but only halfway. I can feel the
So the water goes in one side and out the other, cleaning out your nose.
It's supposed to be incredible. You know when you I can't breathe at night, you have the stuffy nose? It's supposed to clear out the entire thing so you can breathe.
Okay, Allie checked in. Crew member Allie, I have one, and it's truly life-changing,
There
she
you
says.
go.
People say with kids it's life-changing because there's ones, I don't know if that one's particularly for kids, but there is kids versions of it. I'm imagining they're a little smaller. And when your kids don't sleep well at night, when they're toddlers because they have the stuffy nose, they're using them and their kids are zonked out. It's helping with these colds like crazy.
I can only imagine taking that kit and holding your kid down and shoving it on their nose to clean out.
Honestly, what's the difference? I pin my kid down 17 times a day. Stop it.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
So we just got through the fact that makes your brain go. It was things that you put off doing that drastically changed Chicagoans' life, and the number one on there was those nasal rinse things like Navage. Boy, do we get a lot of people checking in on that, and that's the thing that you put this device to your nose. It kind of washes through one nostril, then out the other, and completely cleans your nose out. First story texted through, man dies of brain-eating amoeba, possibly from rinsing his sinuses with tap water.
Ouch.
We can't have anything. It's so annoying. I just feel like every time we find something good, they're like, well, guess what can happen to you if you do it?
Now, a lot of people said that you got to use distilled water if you do that. Also, though, that makes me think that I'm drinking amoebas. Do amoebas taste good? Does the water taste good because of amoebas?
I assume. Go ahead, Kenzie.
Tap water? Sorry. Do you drink tap water?
Yeah, I drink tap water. I Brit it. Does a Brita get rid of an amoeba?
So you have a Brita filter. Okay, yeah, you have a filter. So you're not drinking tap water. You don't turn on your faucet with a cup and then drink that.
I will if the Brita isn't filled up because it's so damn hard to keep those things filled up. So I didn't fill it. I'm going to the hose out in the backyard. So I'll do that. But I don't. When I've changed the filter, I don't see a bunch of dead amoeba sitting there in the filter. I know
they're not huge frogs. I feel like you're imagining really big,
Can you imagine that as a
the
frog?
frog in your filter.
Brita?
Thank God.
Is that a frog in your Brita? Or you just happen to see me.
Oh.
I would have never caught this on my own.
So I guess be careful if you're using that Navage stuff to use distilled water or a brain-eating amoeba might go into your head.
Can you imagine how terrifying it is to be hearing this, knowing you used tap water in your Navage last night?
Well, can you imagine the amoeba just tapped in singing, hello, my darling, hello, my darling. Imagine.
Somebody's doing it right now, and they just sneezed out all the amoeba and the tap water right now. Distilled water? No one told me that. Good Lord. Well, how Brian and Kenzie, this show, got hashtag Finish the Hole trending worldwide yesterday, a top 5 trend yesterday. This is also, it's not a great story, to be honest. It's $400 million in Chicagoan taxpayer money, used right in the Block 37 zone, which where Kenzie used to live, by the way, because there's apartments above it and shopping below it.
Yep.
Below that, there's a football field-size hole that was supposed to be super trains, taking you tubes. There's all these tubes to take you to the airports.
I love these tubes. Finish the tubes.
Finish
Let's
the
go.
tubes. Yep. And this is the story from NBC Chicago that we played yesterday, a piece of audio to explain what's going on.
Far below the atrium offices in shopping mall, below the pedway underneath, beneath even the subways below.
A sleek new superstation designed to whisk people on high-speed trains to Chicago's airports. But this is what it looks like today. A gigantic, unfinished, abandoned money pit.
That's tough.
Couple more adjectives. An abandoned, unused, unfinished money pit.
I can't believe there are some people out there that don't like journalists because when they get in their bag and they produce a story like this, the verbiage they use is still top notch.
Do you think the government's ever just like, lay off, man? Stories about us every night. We're exhausted.
Yes, I think so.
I'm sure Ben Bradley, our friend at WGN, not NBC, but gets some little anonymous phone calls.
To see Ben Bradley with a pen. That's like their worst nightmare. Relax, Ben.
I'm sure when he was investigating Tiffany Henyard, he said to his wife, if I ever don't come home one night, you know what happened. The henchman. All right, this story continues about the hole in the ground underneath Chicago.
Feel like you're in a cave that has been abandoned for eons.
David Greising is president of the Better Government Association. As a journalist, he toured the structure, dubbed through the years as the Bat Cave, the Money Pit, or as NBC5 Investigates has described it, the Superstation to Nowhere.
The Superstation to Nowhere playing Riot Fest on the Metro stage. Make sure you get there early for that. The Superstation to Nowhere. It sounds so defeated.
Sounds like my ex.
The idea was sparked 20 years ago when the city approved construction of this building on a prime loop lot which had remained vacant for decades.
We, as journalists, get summoned to a press conference in the mega station that is in mothballs,
where they found two familiar faces.
We're super excited to do what I think is going to be groundbreaking technology.
Then Mayor Rahm Emanuel was determined to revive this literal hole in the ground, and Elon Musk responded.
So when we say that, we're talking about 8 years ago at that point. This thing started 20 years ago to build these tubes to take you 150 miles an hour from downtown. You get to O'Hare in 12 minutes. And Midway had to be quicker because that's a little shorter distance. But around that time.
That's insane. It's amazing.
This sounds incredible. And all they have is the hole in the ground and not the 17 miles to O'Hare of tubes. They didn't get farther than the hole. Anybody can dig a hole. I go dig that hole.
Finish the tubes. It's the one thing that I'm finding like this is really cool. The government's building it. For the love of God, let us have it.
If the hole costs $400 million, the tubes must be $8 trillion to finish.
Naturally. They already have half of our paycheck. Who cares? Build us something we like.
So all that stuff they take out of your check, you see all that stuff, Social Security.
Yeah.
Is there a tube tax going to be? It just says tube. Tube. $4,000.
Musk had created the Boring Company, which uses this machine to drill underground to construct mega infrastructure projects in a matter of weeks instead of years.
But it's been 20 years.
That's the rub, you see.
See, this thing is supposed to do that.
It's tough.
I don't know.
The potential here for a revolutionary transport system.
It certainly looked revolutionary. From the renovated Superstation, people board glass pods that are lowered onto sleds that slide through the underground tubes.
Oh, I bet the renderings were incredible on that.
Imagine that.
People getting on a tube and being whisked away. They're probably wearing suits and carrying briefcases and smoking pipes through this whole thing. All right, I got to look at the rendering of this tube. I got to find it.
At 150 miles per hour, reaching the airport in just about 12 minutes.
Getting from the city to O'Hare is a race against time, and we're going to give commuters a leg up in that race.
Musk promised he'd build it all in 3 to 4 years. He also vowed he wouldn't...
3 to 4 years? It's been 20. 3 to 4 years.
But he came in 2018.
So he came in late with Rahm Emanuel. Yeah, the hole was already dug, I guess, whatever.
I think we should have to normalize that if you make a promise like that at like a public, what is this called? Like a press conference?
Yeah.
You have to follow through. It's illegal to not follow through. You can't announce it and make it news and then not do it. Why do words not matter? It's starting to piss me off. That's illegal.
It's a deep thought.
He should be sued.
Yep. Words not matter also at Riot Fest, by the way. They're performing there as
One of my favorites.
Yep.
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years it was supposed to be done.
Vowed he wouldn't spend a single cent of public money.
And then he's vowed not a single cent of public money. $400 million in tax money has gone to this, and it's just a hole in the ground, the size of Soldier Field.
As it turned out, Mayor Emanuel's successors had no interest in the project, and Musk himself quickly moved on to other things, like buying Twitter and advising President Trump. While here in Chicago, the padlocks and mothballs are back in place, with no future in sight.
Moved on to other things like buying Twitter. You're supposed to finish the tubes.
I want the tubes.
God, they'd be amazing. Well, if there's anybody out there that has $1 trillion to finish the tubes, please. Hashtag finish the hole. Get on it. We're going to get to sports. What an epic sports night last night. We're going to also pick our horses for the Kentucky Derby. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.